Good evening everybody, how you doing? Thought I'd make a real quick little video. It's Saturday night. I've just jumped out of the shower about 5 minutes ago. Chucked some clothes on quickly. I'm about to head out. Being stared at by the cat again. I think as soon as she sees me sitting down talking, she wonders what I'm doing. Hello. Anyway, yeah, I'm actually about to head out. I'm going to heading out to the cinema. Anna's working all night tonight, and I haven't been to the cinema on my own in quite a while, and I miss it. It's something I always really enjoyed going out on my own, especially somewhere like the cinema. It's just, I can just shut everything out and just forget about the world for 2 hours. So, hello. Here we go. So yeah, that's something. That's what I'm going to be doing this evening. Oh, you do like the attention, don't you, madams? So yeah, that's my plan for tonight. I thought before nipping out, I'll make a real quick little video, just so I can post something up. I figured I'd talk about just my short-term goals, mod-wise, for this year. They're the things I've already got. I have sort of different sets of goals, I guess, or short-term things, long-term things, and that sort of stuff, and sort of new mods I want to get at some point. I thought for now, just to make a quick little video, I would just make a quick little video. With you, Adam? Just make a quick little video. I would just talk about where I want to go with the mods I've got right now. Nothing new though. I figured that'll only take 5 minutes. Might take a little bit longer with this lady. Ah, sticking a claw in my knee. Good lord, ouch. Well, thank you for that. Anyway, sorry about that. That really hurt. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, completely lost the train of thought there. No, so yeah. As like I say, this won't include any new mods I would like to get this year. There's a few things that I don't know if I will actually get done this year. There's a handful of things I've wanted done for ages. I'll talk about them more in some other video. I'll just talk about the stuff I'm planning on doing this year now. Anyway, so yes, obviously the first thing which I mentioned before is the black. I do hope to get at least 2 more sessions done this year. I think that's what I'm setting as a target. I mean, it's only March. It's March already. This year's actually going quickly already. Yeah, it's only March as yet, so got plenty of time. I had hoped on getting a couple more sessions in before, or 1 more session in before festival season this year, but that's currently looking a little bit less likely because I've just got all sorts of things suddenly happening all at once. We're in the middle of this move. We've just signed all the contracts and everything for the new house. We just got to wait to hear back from the solicitors as to what's happening next. We've got that going on. I'm possibly in the middle of moving jobs. I had an interview at work for a tanker position at Cala, where I work now, which due to certain internal issues that have arisen, there's nothing to do with the job or anything, but it's made everything come to a standstill for the time being. So it will take a little while for other things to get sorted out before they can tell us more about what's happening with this new job. And also possibly might actually be moving to a different company that's an oil company rather than a gas company, and I might end up driving oil tankers. But that's I have a friend who works for an oil tanker company who he has told me they will be looking for new drivers in the near future, and he'll help me get in with them, so I helped train him at Calagas. That's why I met him at my current job. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure if I'll end up getting any more black before festival season comes around, because that's creeping up closer and closer now. Although that would be a shame if I can't, but still, so I'm not in a super rush to do that. So yeah, I'd like at least another couple of sessions on the black, get some more of my arms finished off, and possibly start other places. I definitely like the idea of having my legs and my glutes completely solid black as well. So that might be something I get started on later in the year as well. I'll talk to Sam, my artist, to see how it goes and see what I think and what he thinks, whether he wants to do. I'm more or less leaving it up to him where he wants to go next, really. I'll talk to him at some point in the near future and yeah, get something of that sorted out. But yeah, as far as the piercings I want to go, obviously with the septum, I've not going to be stretching that again until after festival season now, so that won't be until end of August, September time that I try going back up to 29. I'm going to keep it at 28 for the time being. It's more or less settled down now. It's still very slightly tender at the top here, and then I can work on shifting it around a little bit. It's not perfectly lined up at the moment. Other than that, I would like to, as far as the ears go, say they're 70. I completely keep forgetting how big they are. I think these are 72, the ones I'm wearing at the moment, and the ones I have on order are, I'm sure they're about 74. I think, I cannot remember. For the life of me, I can't remember. But they shouldn't be too much longer now. I think it was best part. It was a good month ago. I think I'm sure that I actually ordered them, so it shouldn't take too much longer for them to be turning up. I've actually ordered them to be delivered to my parents' house, just in case we've already moved before they turn up. Something stuck to the lens. Yep. Just in case yeah, they turn up before or after we move. I've actually ordered them to my parents' house. So when they do turn up, I might do like a little mini unboxing or something like that. Just give my thoughts on them. Not that my thoughts will be particularly in depth. They'll be like, yeah, they're right. So yeah, anyway, but that'll be them. So that'll be. Like I said, I imagine they'll turn up this month with a bit of luck. I don't know whether I'll stretch this one straight away, the one that had the little cut in it. It's all healed up now, but the tissue where that was damaged is still very fresh. It's still quite pink, quite very new, soft skin. So I might leave it a little bit longer just to allow that to thicken up and toughen up before I actually stretch that here. I will just, I'll definitely be getting this in, probably just whack it in as soon as I get there. That'll be right. But I can see myself stretching them after this upcoming stretch at least 2 more times this year. I like to leave them, so say what I normally do, I normally leave it 2 to 3 months before ordering some new jewellery to be made. And that normally takes at least another month, if not longer, to actually turn up after being ordered. So they end up being stretched probably somewhere between every 3 and 5 months, I'd say, as a rough guess. So I'd like to think I might get another 2 stretches in later this year as well, which would be nice because that'll get them back over the 3-inch mark, about the sort of 76, 77mm mark. I always forget exactly how many millimeters 3 inches is. But anyway, I'll be back on the bigger side of 3 inches again, which would be nice. Nice little mini milestone that I was at years ago, and now have to work my way back to again. Anyway, yeah, not to worry. At least I can go back up again anyway. That's the good thing about big ears. If you decide to shrink them down, you can always stretch them up again later if you want to. But yeah, with the conchas, I had that silly little issue with this one a couple of days ago. It was completely my own fault. It has more or less settled down now, but it does mean I'll probably leave it a little bit longer before I actually stretch them. Or this one at least. And I would like them both even before the start of festival season again, which for me is normally around June, July. I keep saying festival season, it probably means nothing to most people. But yeah, before June, July, I would at least like to have them both even. And I originally, going into this year, I was hoping to be able to get them both up to 18mm, but I'm not quite sure that'll happen now. I'll definitely have them both up to 17 well before the end of this year, there's no question about that. But whether or not I'll get them up to 18 or not, I'm not sure. I'm sort of, these days I'm usually anyway, trying to aim for every new size. When I go down a size and go back up again, I don't leave it as long, like what has happened with this here. But every new size I go up to, I like to leave it a good 6 months. So it really gives them a good time to settle in, to become loose and really get cemented in. Not that cartilage piercings in your ears really loosen off at all, in fact, but they just become slightly less tight. So I guess yes, technically it is loosening off a little bit, but it's not like with an earlobe or your septum you can pull it and see a gap through it. That doesn't happen with conchas. But, so yeah, that's the plan with them, and I really want to get sorted out with my my little traguses, tragi or whatever you'd call the 2 of them. Yeah, because I have 2 in each ear. They're both stretched up a little bit at the moment. I think they're both 2mm now, and I might see if I can stretch all 4 of them a couple of times before the end of this year. Get them up to maybe sort of around 3-ish millimeters, 3.2 millimeters, something like that. I'd never planned on them going particularly big anyway, but that will be yeah, that will be about as big as I'd probably take them anyway, because I don't want to get them too big, because obviously having two, there's not a great deal of space on your tragus. I don't want them to sort of nip together and cause problems with the tissue in between the two piercings, so I'll never go super big with them. Maybe I'll go up to 4 millimeters or so someday. I'll see, I'll have to see. And the only other one is obviously the bridge. I don't know what on earth my bridge is doing at the moment. It's been crazy the last few months actually. So this side here, the scar on this side, it happened last time I stretched it. It's currently 4 millimeters. That scar appeared then because for some odd reason this side, the tissue was really thin over the jewellery, and I almost debated not even stretching it at all. I had two theories. I figured either it would scar up like this, which it has, and the tissue was actually thickened up because of the stretch, which is technically, well, it's better than the other possibility. I thought possibly what might happen, because it was so thin, that the tissue would actually just die off and then the whole thing would reject. So yeah, I'm glad it did this option. But yeah, so that's the tissue on that side. It doesn't really feel tough or anything. It just it's just a different colour basically, because the scar tissue has had to thicken up, I guess, almost as a way of preventing it from actually rejecting. And it's a lot. The tissue itself isn't hard at all. It's soft. It's just a different colour. The tissue on this side, that's the one that completely freaked out of the blue. I thought it was well, probably a good 6 months ago now at least, but it was sort of September-ish last year, I think. It's completely out of nowhere. Tiny little scar appeared on the side, and it just grew and grew and grew. And then it all went away completely, and then it came back again. And it's currently in the middle of going back down again at the moment. So what on earth it's doing, I haven't got a clue. But yeah, it's currently 4 millimeters. I do hope to be able to stretch it bigger someday, but that's all gonna just be on what happens with the scar tissue. If the scar tissue stays more or less how it is, I probably won't stretch it much more. But we'll see. You don't know. As I eventually I will probably have a large portion of my face tattooed anyway, so you probably won't even notice the scars. But it's not the end of the world. I've been finding it very interesting watching it. I've been trying to figure out what it is that makes it flare up and what it is that makes it die down again. So that's been it's been quite interesting trying to figure out if there's any particular cause, or if it's just bridge piercings being awkward, because I know so many people who get bridge piercings always have issues with them, and they get little scars and they reject and all sorts of bizarre little things. So it's not entirely unsurprising, but I do find it interesting just watching it and seeing what it's doing. It doesn't help that I keep picking it as well. That probably doesn't help the situation either. I always have to be fiddling with stuff with my hands, and that's just always there, so it's an easy target to fiddle with. That certainly doesn't help the situation. But yeah, I might, once this side settles down a little bit more, I might start rubbing some sort of oil into it, something like vitamin E oil or bio oil or something like that into it, just to try and see if it softens the tissue up a little bit, just to make it easier to stretch further down the line. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else in the short term. I don't think there's anything else planned in the short term, just continuing on with what I've got. So I have a few other piercing ideas I might do at some point. I've always liked what they call forward helixes in the little bit, probably can't even see past my hair, in the little bit of tissue up there. I've liked the idea of possibly getting a piercing up there and just seeing if I can stretch it, because it's such an awkward little spot to get to, and there's not a great deal of tissue there to start with, but I'm just really curious to see if I can actually manage to stretch one. That's the thing with a lot of these modifications that I do. They're just personal experiments that I just do to see if I can do them. The same with stretching the bridge, really, just to see what happens when you stretch a bridge. So yeah, I'm very much tempted just to get a little forward helix piercing somewhere in there, and just seeing if I can stretch them to like 12 mm or something like that. That would be an interesting little experiment for sure. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, I think if I was going to get any piercings in the near future, it would probably be that. But again, that all depends on general money issues at the moment. Like I say, with moving house and that sort of thing, and my car windscreen has a big crack down the middle of it now, which is really helpful. It got a tiny chip right at the very top of the windscreen, right where you get the rubber seal on the windscreen, and there was a chip there, so I never even noticed it because it's so high up on the windscreen, and it's cracked all the way down the middle. So I need to get that sorted out, so that's more money, so that's fun. But yeah, so any future new modification just depends a lot on money issues right now. So when I'll get anything new, like full on new, I don't know, but I will be continuing to stretch everything. I keep considering getting my nostrils pierced in the semi-near future as well. Thing is, I keep saying I want to wait until I'm done stretching my septum first, but I don't know if I'm ever going to be done stretching my septum. I never thought I'd want to go to 30mm. I'd always want to get it to an inch, and then I thought, oh, let's go a little bit bigger. I got to 26, and I thought, oh, let's try and get to 28, and then it was, oh, let's just try and get to 30, and like I said before, I'm now considering maybe going up to 32, and I'm sure once I've been sitting at 32 for a while, I'll just be thinking, oh, you know, I can go bigger with this. I have a funny feeling I'm just never ever going to stop stretching my septum, which yeah, that following that logic would mean I would never ever actually get my nostrils pierced. So that I'm possibly considering doing that sometime this year, just finally getting them pierced. And I wouldn't want to punch them. I'd want to get them pierced very small and stretch them up, just because I prefer doing that. It's this, even with my conchas, the reason they're so small compared to all my other piercings, like my conchas, my septum, and my earlobes, I got them pierced roughly around the same time, all within about a year from each other, and I've been stretching them all ever since, pretty much straight away since I got them pierced. And the reason they're so much smaller than everything else is just because of how damn tricky they are to stretch. So but yeah, I prefer the actual journey itself of stretching. I prefer actually having to put the effort in rather than just having it straight away like that. I can certainly appreciate why people wouldn't want to go through all the hassle and the pain and the time it takes to actually stretch something like a conch piercing. It is not easy, it is not fun, but it's just part of, I guess just part of my personal journey. It's the way I choose to go about these things. So that won't be changing anytime soon. If I get my nostrils pierced, they will be pierced very small, and they will be stretched up. I've always liked the idea of having my nostril piercings the same size as my septum. So however big my septum ends up is probably how big I'll end up stretching my nostrils to. And chances are that'll take another 10 years as well, so that'll be, I'm sure that'll be fun for my viewers, with 10 years of watching my nostril piercings slowly getting bigger and bigger. But anyway, yeah, I've actually rambled on for quite a bit longer than I had expected, and yeah, I don't want to miss the cinema, so I will say goodbye for now. I will pop up another little video during the week, and yeah, thank you for watching again, and I'll see you soon. See you later. Ta-ra.